Hello, welcome to my craft room with Rhoda. Today we're working on another Caroline's Craft Tree Challenge, week 17. We're doing 5 prompts: ledger paper, sewing item, toilet roll, cheesecloth, and hands. Well, I've got paper towel rolls. I thought that could be my substitution instead of a toilet paper roll. And what I've done is I have made a belly band. It's either a belly band or a side tuck to go on the side of your page edge, or just maybe something you'd like to tuck into a pocket. Who knows? But this I made a while back when I was more creative. But anyhow, it has a piece that pulls out at the top, and I was thinking it was more like a metal worker, and this was his like job site or something. I had a bunch of those metal pieces from a book I had, and I went to town with them. And then my friend had gave me this paper here that has like rustic ironworking things. Anyhow, this is one of the Tim Holtz guys. And what I did is I set him on a tag. I did cut the tag top off. So he rests down in here, and he's hanging over it as well, where his foot is resting on the number down here. Then he's got a little side pocket right there. So it's got a tiny tag in there. So that's what we're going to work on today. I'm going to do this one, and then if I've got time, I'll show you a female version maybe. But I've got my paper picked out here, and I also wanted to show you this. I did sew this one. I started here, went all the way up, and then I glued, I believe, this piece. Did I? Did I glue that? No, I didn't. I sewed it from here around and went up, and I sewed it from there and went up. And that's what's holding this little pocket down here onto this piece. I'll show you that when we get done here. Now, if you didn't want to sew or didn't have a sewing machine, I made a version where it's using brads. And you can see where I brought the brads through. I did sew in the middle. That could be a glue line. It doesn't matter. But I put a brad on each corner. And that's what's holding it flat. Basically, that's what this is doing. It's holding this nice and flat after you've flattened your paper towel or toilet paper roll, whatever you're using. So this one, the way it worked, it has 2 tags. One goes in the top and the bottom. And then we've got a creative, if I can get that back in there. I've got a creative center where it's like secret journaling. It's a little slice. So it's a little slice, and the way I did it, I took the paper towel roll, and I sewed a cross in it, and that created these 4 little pockets for this. I don't know. If you feel like you want to see how I made this version, leave me a comment, and I will do a video on it as well. I don't have this paper anymore, but I'll find something just as pretty. All right. Now, what we want to do, we're starting out with something like this. Regular old toilet paper, paper towel roll that is 11 inches long. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take it, and we need to make it sized to our journal. So it has to be 8 and a quarter. Now this one was 10 3/4 tall. So you're going to have a variation in your sizes. So what you want to just do is make sure when you measure this, it's going to be 8 and a quarter or even 8, depending on what your journal size is going to be. So we're just going to do it just like this and do us a line. Now don't throw the piece on the bottom away, because that's going to be our pocket. But it has to be separated. I was a little crooked there, so I'm going to cut a little straighter than I drew a line. So we're going to do it like that. And then this piece, it usually is the width of your actual roll. So you can lay that on there and figure out where it needs to be, and then just come down through here and cut that. I want to thank everybody for coming to visit, and hope everybody's healthy, happy, and ready for the end of April. My goodness, that thing went fast. I was just talking to my friend Tommy, and she's saying she had to do this and that and the other before the end of April. And I thought, oh, man, it's already the end of April. What is going on? All right. There. I think we're as straight as we're going to be. So now what we want to do is we are going to, what is my next step? Let me throw that out of the way. I did take this piece of paper, and although I don't know where she got it, it's someplace called the Paper Loft. And it's the paperloft.com. I don't know if they're still in service or whatever, but there is a number there in case you want to try to order it. But what we're going to do is I wanted to creatively get these rivets in here. So I've went and I've traced how I wanted that to be. And now we're going to cut this out. And we're going to get this put on our piece of paper towel roll. I did think about doing toilet paper rolls because there's some cute little pockets you can make with those. And I thought I'd do some for the shop. So maybe that'll be another thing we'll do here a day in the near future. Is I'll do a little version of those and show you how to decorate those up. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just cut that all the way off. And we'll go across like that. There we go. Now, I probably didn't need to go all the way over, or down, I mean, because there's going to be a pocket at the bottom. So, if you wanted to save your paper, you could go ahead and do that. Just lop it off right before it's going to go under, or right after it goes under your little pocket lip. I don't think I'm going to worry. And one of our prompts was ledger paper. So this is as close to ledger paper as I could get. It was in one of my scrapbooks. So I made that the back of the tag that's going to be inside. And I've already inked it and everything and put the two pieces together because these were one-sided. And so they're able to write on that. And they gave them lines. So I thought that was pretty good. All we got to do is put a topper on this. So what we need to do next is take our, I threw it up here, didn't I? Take our roll. And what I did is I run these through my my die cut machine to get it nice and flat. Boy, it got nice and flat. All right, what we're going to do is use our wet glue and go on the back of this. Now, you're probably going to, it's nice to have it just a little bigger because then you can get in here and snip off what you need to without having to worry about it, you know, being too short. Now, if you wanted to, you can ink your edges of your paper towel roll. If you would like to have like a tiny bit of a frame with a color, you can do that. It just depends on how you'd like to go about it. So you make all these little decisions beforehand. Now, see, I try to go just a tad over, just so my paper's talking. Yeah, it's not quite there. It's like right at the edge, but I'm okay with that because I'm going for an industrial look that has browns and tans and all those kind of pretty colors. Some of y'all might not think that's pretty, but you need to do a black and white item and then judge, because it really pops. I mean, your subject matter will pop and everything when the colors are all muted and they're kind of together. Now, this has some warm tones in it from my tree background there, and some of the pieces of this Paper Loft kit, because these pieces here were like little parts that went with it. Here's another one. And so I just inked the edges. This is going to be actually on here somewhere. And so I'm going to make it work for me. Now let me make sure I've got my edge down nice and good. Or is that well? I was never good in English. Oh my God. Me and an English teacher. Oh. We had a discussion about ain't and a few other words. I said, why isn't it in the dictionary then? It's slang. It shouldn't be in the dictionary if you don't want us to use it. Maybe it was an older dictionary. I don't know. Now, vocabulary was the only subject I liked in English. I would have liked to have been an author, but I butcher the English language. I do. I do. All right. This is such a heavy, heavy piece that you sometimes have to get up in here and really go at it with the glue. Or hold it down longer. I wasn't really holding it down. Or use fabric tack. That may have a better grip because I'm sure this paper towel roll soaks in that glue. I have ordered myself some art glitter glue. I did a little spending spree yesterday. They had a bundle for sale at Amazon. I couldn't resist it. I said, let me get this so I can use it. I want to compare and contrast between my Barely Arch glue and my art glitter glue. All right. Before we put anything else on here, oh, we do have to put our pocket. So what we're going to do with our pocket is we're going to cover it with, what did I choose to cover it with? I think it was going to be my wood paper. This one right here. I believe that's what we're going to go on here with. And I'm going to have a big label on it, just like this one has. And then under the label, the other prompt is cheesecloth. So I have a little bit of a tea bag, if you can see it underneath of that one. So this one's going to have a piece of cheesecloth. And I don't have to close it yet because remember, I'm going to sew it. But if you don't have a sewing machine or can't sew, doing the brad trick will work as well. You could put you a brad on each corner up here. And on each corner, if you got those little tiny, tiny brads, those would be perfect. That is just big enough to go through. It's not going to take up too much room. So if you can find those little tiny nail head brads, I would get some because they're very useful all around. Like with the with this label here, where that's like what do you call that, a book plate or something, you could have put two little brads in there. And if you're doing that on one of your pieces for your journal or your cover, where you have usually journal inside of some kind of pretty little piece, you could put one there. It dresses so many things up. It's really, you know, a useful item to have in your stash. It really is. I highly recommend them. Maybe I need to do a video on what I highly recommend would be great items to have in your stash. I've been trying to think of something like that, but, you know, what I use, you know, maybe nobody else really wants to use, but I can throw my opinion across about how to use them, and that might change and give you ideas. Maybe. All right, that one's not quite straight. All right, I think I'm going over to the sewing machine. I'm going to throw just a little bit. I didn't get quite down there. But we're going to go over to the sewing machine, and I'm going to sew my piece down here. I'm going to make sure my opening is open. Now, depending on the side that you're wanting to use this on, if you're going to put it, let me find a piece of paper. Okay, here's one of my obituaries that I've found for my genealogy stuff. Okay, so you're going to take your copy paper and you're going to fold it in half and say you're wanting to use it on your page right here. You can either use it as a belly band, which is going to be dead center, and you're going to glue it top and bottom. And you see, you might want to actually measure your page that you're planning on putting it on, because I've got a little bit of a gap here. But anyhow, so you're gluing it top and bottom, and it's down. And then you're able to put stuff under. And you would probably want your opening to be over here for your little tag, since this is your spine and your binding. Now, if you wanted it to be on the edge of your page, you could put it out here on the edge and glue it down as a tuck. It'd be a tuck. You'd have the big pocket up here. And you can do either way, or you could leave it open. I mean, I've done one where it's like a seesaw, I called it, where you could pull it out either way, so you could have a tag pull on this side and a tag pull on that side. That would work. That would be something different. And then if you pull it over here and do it on this page, it's going to be the same thing. You're going to glue it like a tuck. You have a tuck area, and then you could do, You can do it with or without a pocket. That's also optional. So, you know, however you want to go about it. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to, I think I did glue my pocket down just to hold it. No, I'm sorry. Because he's got to be in the pocket. That's it. The pocket cannot be glued in any way, shape, or form. He has to be in it. So what we're going to do is just hold her steady. And I'm going to go over there. I'm going to do a slim line right along the edge, right like that, and make an L. Then I'm going to come down this side. And then I'm going to backstitch just a couple times right across the border here. Okay, so I will be right back. Okay, I have to admit my sewing machine was gasping toward the end there. So when I got to this part where it was double a paper towel roll, it was dying. So I had to make do with what I could sew. And I'm shoring up where I couldn't, you know, do my backstitch. The poor little thing. Oh, so that's done. That's done. Now what we're going to do, and you know, I just noticed, I think I actually had a really thin paper here, and you could like go over if you wanted to. I didn't do that, but anyhow, that's just a suggestion. We have what's going inside, and we want to make sure it's going to fit. It should. You just got to find your opening. There we go. And the more you use the opening, the better it'll be. I think I have a bow here in the center as well. That's just the way it was lying on the shelf up there. There we go. So a nice wide or heavy-duty paper. I've just got two thinner papers here. Would do a great job. Now, I'm going to put this as my pull on the top. And I'm cheating because one of my prompts is hands. Well, he has hands showing. And I've got hands on these clocks. I really like what Caroline did. She used the hands of a clock and a Roman numeral for hers. That was thinking outside the box now. That was good thinking. Oh, I was trying to do some outside the box thinking, but I don't know if it's been working this week. Now that's my back side, so this is my front side. So we're just going to put this on here, center it as well as we can, and start getting our piece together, because we got all of our pieces and parts. And now we just got to get it all together. That may have been a little off, but I don't think it matters. Okay, and that can go inside. I'm not going to do anything else with my inside piece here. I'm just going to leave it as is. I love that wood. Now, if it gives you some issues, you can get in there with your bone folder and give it a little bit of workout to really, oh yeah, to really get that mouth open, and that did it. There we go. No problem whatsoever, except down there. Now, a little further down, if yours is bowed, can you see how mine's bowed? You might get in there with your ruler even and see if you can retrain it. Sometimes you want to check the inside of your roll as well, because one of those rings inside may be a little off as well. You don't want to use one of those. Try to avoid those. All right, now what we're doing here, I have those are, this is going to be on my surface out here. I think I'll put it on that side. It's like a little piece of burlap or something. It's kind of industrial looking. So I wanted that to go where my wording is going to go. So we're just going to plop that down right here, right beside our stitching. And of course my stitching is my sewing item. Woo, woo, woo. Okay, we're going to get this little piece that goes in the side over here figured out. We just got to, and my friend Tommy, Paper Crafting with Miss Tommy, she punched out these little babies for me, the little whale tails. And I love them. I love it that they're little clock. She even did some little army ones. She did use some Tim Holtz papers, and they're perfect because I love Tim Holtz, you know. Okay, I'm got to go this way with it. This is, actually that's my back and this is my front. So let me line that up. That's why I try to do as much as possible here as for prep, you know. I want to thank my subscribers and my watchers and lurkers, everybody for coming to visit. I've been still steadily growing, and it's wonderful. You set like limits for yourself, or goals, I should say, and wow, it's coming around to being. I'm like 2 months out. Well, I'm not that way. I've got a clock for the pool, and I got a clock for in here. But I started last June. I think it was the 1st of June last year. And I've been picking up steadily, and I'm so appreciative to everybody out there, because everybody's helped. And oops. And we can't do much without our great watchers and commenters and likers, those people that get in there and really, you know, interact with us. It really helps our channels out, and it makes us able to keep going at this and doing it for you, and keeping you entertained. That's what we try to do. We try to entertain you. We try to give you new information, things we may have discovered. I've still got a few things out there I can show you, and then I always pick stuff up every day. I'll see somebody do something, and I'll think of another idea for how to use it or do it. First thing I can think of is sharing it with my subscribers and watchers. All right, I found these in the Tim Holtz book, the clipping sticker book. I love this one. You know, you can make sentences out of some of this stuff. You've got people's names in here. You've got numbers. It's got a lot of great things in that sticker book. But I found it where it said, just at the moment. I'm trying to get that white off the edges. I found just at the moment. And then I found he couldn't remember. And I have so many clocks on here. You know, I couldn't resist. I like a play on words, I have to admit. I like a play on words. So we're going to do it just like that. Just at the moment. Or he couldn't remember, just at the moment. Poor old thing. He looks like he's worked hard that day too. He's from one of the first packs I think I got of the Tim Holtz people. Now what we have to do here, I'm going to make that the back side, and that's the front side. He is going to be sitting on here. And he is, let me put him side by side so I can kind of get an idea. I know he is right below the shoulders, and this piece is 1, 2, 3. It's 4 inches tall and about 1.5 wide. And then I inked the back of him where he's going to be showing. I didn't do it beforehand here, but if you can see it, it comes up right there at his shoulder, where that first little loop of his shoulder is. So let's see. How am I going to do that? We're going to go across, and then we're going to come down. He looks like he's a little different in shape. This one I got from a newer pack, and I don't remember some of this on him. Now, where you get to his leg, at the very top of his leg is where you're going to stop, if you're wanting to put him down in that pocket like I've done. All right, let's try this. Let's see if this will work for me. I didn't realize he was such a different shape. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it like this. I'd rather have that part showing. All right. I don't want to have to trim off any of those little pieces, but I just might have to. There. Maybe that'll help me. Is he straight? Yeah, he looks pretty straight. Okay, now, what we're going to do, and that wet glue affected my, my gathered twigs up there. That's why it kind of got a little lighter. I'll just go across it again. All right, so now what we want to do is we're going to decorate our bottom down here with our cheesecloth and our number. So let's get us a little wad of cheesecloth. This is some I dyed. I had a dye session here not long ago with tea. So I soaked this baby in there and got me a nice big wad of cheesecloth. All right, so what we need to do now, and I like it where it's a little ripped, where you got the little strands sticking out kind of deal. Ooh. And then I gotta find my piece of paper over here that has my number on it. It's in one of those really, really old sticker books. I don't even think they have those things out. I wished I had bought more than I did. You know, I never do. Okay. We need the fabric tack. We're going to set it on its side. And our number is in this baby. It is a crowded attic. And, oh, has some great stuff in it. But, you know, some of this stuff, it went back into his books. A lot of his books had it. So here was where another one of my numbers was. I'm going to use this one. I'm not going to worry about putting any brads in this. Although we could. What do you think? Well, it's got an oddball brad. I think I'm going to worry about it. That brad is a little off. Or it would be a little off. Just going to ink our edges. There we go. Now, we want to get on here first with our fabric tack and figure out where this is going to go. And as usual, I need to refill this bottle. I'm going to try to go a little beyond where the actual I just picked up all that I just ripped off of it. Where the actual number is going to rest. So we're going to do that. I got this stuff all over me last night. I was working on another little project. I don't think to use my little spatula thing I've got. It keeps the sticky off of me. Although I may use it right now. Okay, let me get that on here and have that set out of the way. All right, we're going to put our number right there in the center. I don't know, but I think it's about the same as the other number, so his foot may rest right at the bottom. I should have judged that, but you know. Rush ahead, Rhoda. All right, and then sometimes you can get in here and do a little jiggy-jaggy cut, and you get a more ununiform look to it. Okay. Just a little, oh, I'm about to pull that one out. And then we're going to do a little inside cut and a little outside cut. There we go. Get all this out of the way before I try to pick it up again. All right, let's see how our guy looks. Let's stick him in here and see how it works. I don't know if the cheesecloth is going to get in my way. I may have to do a little glue there at the top. Now, I don't know what that is. Is that his coat or is that a chair? See that piece coming down there? I should have just trimmed that off. Can I? Yeah, I think I can. I don't want that piece on there. It's sort of in the way. And it's not on that original one. You can see it. Boy, can you see where it was. You know what I'm going to do? Just run me a little bit of this gathered twig on it. And I think it'll make it hide right into where it is. There we go. We'll rub it down so it's not sticking up. And the last little thing, I'm going to get under here where he's going up and down a lot. And see if I can get that down a little better. Right there. Let me wipe some of that up. It's good to have a little cloth with you, because look, you can dab at it. It's still sticking, but it's getting the excess out of the way. And it'll do a lot of the work for you. That cheesecloth is something else, isn't it? All right, well, I am done with this. He is set. He's going in. I might have to pull him right back out, though, after I show you, because I don't want him to stick. But that's our Caroline's Craft Dream Challenge this week. It is week 17. We have ledger paper, which is the back side of that. We have a sewing item, which is our thread. We have a toilet roll, which ended up being a paper towel roll. Just a real big toilet roll. And then we have cheesecloth, and we have hands all over the place. So I thank you for coming to visit and seeing what I got up to, and I hope you try one of these. They're really fun, really durable too. I'm going to do some of these for the shop, especially little paper towel or toilet paper ones. All right, everybody have a great, great day, and I really thank you for coming to visit, and see you soon.